You've probably noticed that there are only 24 hours in the day. And within that time, we've got to sleep, we've got to eat, we've got to shower, we've got to go to work, we've got to spend time with our family and friends and perhaps do some hobbies and exercise. Wow, it's just never ending. And within all that activity that we've got to do, there is the potential for a lot of inefficiency. And one of the things I've learned over the years is that if you use a few tiny little things, you can actually save yourself an enormous amount of time just by applying some of these either tools or practices. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 that I use every single day. First up is Textexpander. Now, I've been using Textexpander for 10 to 15 years. I can't remember exactly when I started using it, but I was put onto it by either Merlin Mann or David Sparks. So those of you who've been in the productivity world, you will find those names rather familiar. Now, what Textexpander does is it expands text that you use frequently. Now, just to give you a very very simple example, every time I finish an email, I just type in comma SIG, and that puts my signature with best wishes, Carl. Now, that doesn't save me a lot of time, but it actually does because I'm so fast at typing comma SIG that I very rarely actually have to type my name. The number one reason I use Textexpander is for today's date. Now, I come from the United Kingdom. Now, we have a special way of writing the date. It's logical, because we normally say it's the 20th of March 2025. So we write 20 March 2025. However, I've discovered that there are some countries that seem to be very illogical, particularly the United States. I'm sorry, but the United States has a weird way of writing the dates, and I can never remember what it is, but I think it starts with the month first, then the number, so it's like March 20th, 2025, or something like that. Here in Korea, we do it completely backwards, because we do the year, the month, the day, so it's like 2025, March 20. Oh, it's just very confusing. But I grew up with the British way of doing it, which is 20th of March 2025. So what I do is I have e-date as a call-up number, a phrase and letters or whatever, but that's my way. Just type in e-date and that will give me the date in the format that I am familiar with. I also have mdate, which I use for month date. Now that's actually just gives me the number, so it's 3/2025, whatever. But I use this also for my document filing. So I have a specific way of naming my documents that save to my computer. I have the year first, because that's the way computers work, then the month, then the day, then it's a dash, and then whatever the document is. So I actually use that a lot to actually name my documents. But not just that, I also use it for common email responses. I get a lot of emails from people asking me questions, and I have quite a few questions that I already have a pre-answer for because it's something I'm frequently asked. All I need to do is just type that code in and it will give me the actual email. So it's a really, really super fast way of, it just saves me so much time. Also helps me to not have to think about dates. I also use my links as well. I put links in there as well so that, you know, like my Zoom joining instruction website address, that goes in there. That's a Textexpander snippet, as they call it. It's a phenomenal little tool. You can put so much in there. I even have foreign thanks, which is a list of all the foreign languages that I've found with their thank yous, and I can just type it in there. And obviously living in Korea, I can type and read Korean language, Hangul as we call it, but I am very slow at typing it. So any common Korean phrases that I use, I just put it into Textexpander and it will do it for me. Textexpander also has a mobile app, so you can actually use the Textexpander keyboard on your phone, which also then means I can bring it up while I'm on the go using my phone. So that's the first one, Textexpander. It's phenomenal. I'll put a link below for you to have a look at it. It's available, I think, for both Mac and Windows. You can have a look at it. It is a fantastic tool. Don't worry, don't worry. Textexpander is not sponsoring this video, but there is an affiliate link because I've been using it for so long. They did reach out and say, hey, you're helping us. we'll help you. So there you go. Next one is to use templates within the document system that you use. Now, I'm an Apple user. I use Apple Pages and Numbers and Keynote. Now, I have quite a few templates already set up in Pages for doing things like invoices. So I have an invoice template set up in Pages so that if I get asked to send an invoice to somebody, I can send an invoice. Similarly, for my coaching feedback, after every coaching call that I do, I send written feedback. It's basically a summary of what we discussed, and there's a little bit of homework too in there, and I have a template for that because it just saves me time. During the coaching call, I take notes, that goes directly into Evernote, and then when it comes for me to sit down the next day or the day after to write the feedback, all I need to do is pull up the template, type in the name of the client, and then write the summary. Super, super fast. It would take me enormous amount of time to actually keep creating these templates. Similarly, in Numbers, I have templates for my online courses outline. Again, it saves me so much time because it's pre-populated and I can just get started in putting the lesson numbers in there. And I also have a few other things in my Numbers, just again to keep me from having to recreate everything every time I set it up. So create templates in whatever tools that you're using. So if you're using Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel, I had to think about that one then, create a template. Same with Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. You can create templates. Now, if you don't actually, like in Pages, we have a separate area for templates, you can just save it into Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, just pull it up, duplicate the document, and off you go. Okay, it adds maybe 10-20 seconds to the actual process, but you are still using a predetermined template, and it just helps you to get on and do the work, which is really all you're going to do. You'll be surprised how much time that tip alone will save you. The next tip has been around for a very, very long time. I can't find the source of this idea, but it has been around a long time. Essentially, I know that Tony Robbins calls it chunking. That means grouping all your similar tasks together and working on them in one block, rather than going like email, oh, I need to call this person, oh, I need to send a message here, oh, damn, I have to go to a meeting, oh, come back, oh, let me check my email, okay, I need to write this report, oh, I better check my email again. Yeah, that is probably the most inefficient thing that you can do all day. Now, this is one of the issues we have with modern day knowledge work. We feel everything coming at us is urgent. Quick tip, it's not. The thing is you need to be able to group things together. So when you're creating your daily task list, or you do your daily planning and you do your daily task list, you can group similar tasks together. So all your communications you do in one block. All your written work, if you're writing a presentation file or you're checking a report. I know a lot of my clients that I've spoken with actually have to review documents, whether it's scientific papers, review reports, whatever. Set aside time. If you've got 3 or 4 reports to review, set aside time to review them. Just the fact that you're not attention switching all the time is going to save you so much time. And also then you can keep all your documents together. And actually, again, the same with your reading material. I know a lot of people get overwhelmed with all the stuff they either must read or have to read. Again, if you just chunk it all together and read it in one go, you're going to find you save yourself so much time. This actually sort of branches out into why time blocking is such an effective way of getting a lot of work done. But that's for another video. But that's something that I strongly recommend is don't do the attention switching thing. It's going to exhaust you. You're going to lose so much task because things are just going to get lost in the system. Instead, group them together and set aside time for doing that particular type of work. I can promise you, if you get consistent with this, you're going to save a phenomenal amount of time. Now, I've kind of just alluded to this about chunking your group or grouping your similar tasks together. But the next one is Plan your day every day. Now, we're not talking about spending 30 minutes planning your day. All we're doing is we're talking 5 minutes where you review your calendar, you look to see where your appointments are and to see how much time you actually have in order to do your tasks. You then go to your task manager and you create a realistic list of what you can do in the time that you have available to do your tasks. But that's where you would start grouping things together. So if you've only got 3 hours available today to do tasks because you've got 5 hours of meetings, for example, then what is the most important thing that you could do today in that time that you have available? Now, it may be that you've only got 45 minutes between one meeting and you may have 30 minutes between another meeting. So the time that you have is really quite short. Plus, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, refresh your coffee or water, and perhaps you need to quickly call somebody back and explain you're in meetings all day. So you're actually not going to get a lot of work done if you're not careful. So if you plan the day, you can be very clear about what you're going to do in the gaps that you have between the meetings. If you don't plan the day, I can promise you that time's just going to disappear. You'll amble to the bathroom, you'll chat with somebody, you'll do something else, but you won't get the work done. And if something's urgent, it needs time and you need to find that time. That's why planning the day is going to save you so much time, because you're much more focused on what needs to get done, so you don't have to then transfer or reschedule everything to the next day. Okay, next one. The next one is actually quite straightforward. I'm surprised so few people do it. And that is to use tools such as Instapaper, Readwise or Read by Readwise, or Pocket for all your reading materials. Now, I work with a lot of professionals who need to keep up to date with their professional organization, whether that's in medicine, whether it's in a particular area of science, or it could be to do with your business. We get newsletters and all that kind of stuff coming in. Now, if you allow all that stuff to come into your email system, now it needs to be processed. So now you're actually expanding the time you need to spend processing email. But if you use something like Instapaper or Read by Readwise, I know these two for certain do this, you get your own individual email address. So when you sign up to these newsletters, you give them your Readwise or your Instapaper email address. That's what you sign up with. That will then ensure that all those newsletters don't go into your email inbox. They go into a dedicated tool that you use to read from. Now, a caveat here. It's okay getting all your reading material into Read or into Instapaper. The problem is, if you're not reading it, it's fine, dump it into one area, but never go back to it. To make those kind of systems work, you do need to set aside time. Again, goes back to, actually grouping stuff together. Get time in the day where you actually sit down and do your reading. Now, most days, because my wife is at university, I end up having to eat my breakfast alone. Well, there's Louis, my dog, but generally I'm eating alone. And it's about 20 minutes where I sit down and eat my yogurt and blueberries, whatever. So what I do while I'm doing that is I read my Read by Readwise, because it's such a powerful tool. Everything that has come in throughout the night, so I don't have to go hunting for anything. It's all there. I spend 20 minutes doing it that time, and again, if I'm having dinner alone, I'll read again at that time. So generally I find that I'm on average probably reading my reading app maybe 45 to 50 minutes a day. But that means I'm staying on top of all my reading material and my email is not getting overwhelmed by all this stuff, which needs to be processed, which takes up a lot of time. So I use a tool. In my case, I use Read by Readwise, such a fantastic tool, and I can just go through the articles, the newsletters, and anything else that I've collected that day and just be able to stay on top of it. It's backlogged, I don't care. It's reading material. It's not critical to my day-to-day work. It's knowledge learning, and I'm spending 45, 50 minutes a day reading it. So I stay on top of all my reading material without my email getting overwhelmed. So there you go. Those are the 5 things that I find save me oodles of time every day. That's Textexpander for expanding bits of text that you use all the time. Dates are great. Websites you can never remember the names of. I even have to have a customs code here in Korea that I can never remember. So it's in Textexpander. Next one is using templates in the tools that you use frequently. So whether you're using Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or you're using Apple Pages, you can create templates in there. They are fantastic. Grouping tasks together, chunking as Tony Robbins calls it, phenomenal time saver because you're not switching your attention all day. Plan your day. I mean, I don't know how many times anyone has to say this. Spend 5 minutes planning out your day. Ideally the night before, but if you don't like doing that, do it first thing in the morning. Just make sure you know what has to be done today. And finally, use a read later service. Instapaper, Pocket, Read by Readwise, anything like that. They're phenomenal tools and they just take a great deal of stuff out of your email and puts it in a place ready for you to read. Thanks for watching this video. And if you want to learn more about productivity tips, last week's video I answered 11 common questions about productivity, and you can see that video right up there.